Great event in Kamloops, Farm2Chefs. It's coming up at Bravado Winery in Westside on July 26th. These two gentlemen are taking part. We have JP Lancaster joining us from Red Collar Brewing today. Great to have you here.
Glad to be here.
Yes, glad to have you. Brody White, Spruce Goose and Choppin' Block. There's a lot of meat here today. How are you?
I'm excellent.
Good. I can't say I've ever seen anything quite like this, and Marcel's going to zoom in. We are looking at what exactly? Like, this is a massive chunk of meat.
This here is a prime rib with the short ribs attached, basically. If anybody's heard of a tomahawk steak, that's exactly where that comes from.
Right.
But trimming it down a little bit more, get the bark off, and you get a prime rib steak, or take the bone out and you get a ribeye steak. This meat comes from Devick Ranch in Knuff Lake. It's local food, which we're here to talk about,
yeah.
which is Farm2Chefs. So I just thought I'd cook up a bit of a roast for you guys, and we can give it a shot.
You guys make Mondays easier because we're eating prime rib, we're having some beer. I don't know if it could get any better than this on a Monday, so thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Let's talk with you for just a minute. He's just gonna throw these into the pan, but you take part in this. This isn't the first time Red Collar, or I guess it might be.
It is the first time.
Because you've only been open so long.
That's right. But yeah, when we sat down when we opened in November and we talked about, we were going to be a bit limited to the events we could do as a first-time business, but Farm2Chefs was the one that we said, we have to do that one.
Yeah.
We reached out, we want to be a part of that. I mean, you look at the process of making beer is intensely farm-driven, right? Your malted barley, that's coming from the prairies. Our hops are coming from Yakima Valley, as well as, the lower mainland. So, I mean, it just made sense for us.
So tell us a little bit about the history of Red Collar, because you guys have only been around for so long, but you're putting out some beautiful craft beer. I know a lot of people are talking about you guys right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Dave Beardsall, he's been in the game for a long time. Trained in Germany in the 80s. He worked for Guinness, he worked for Bass. Bear Brewing, obviously a very iconic Kamloops brewery, the Noble Pig, and then finally Red Collar, where, we get to just focus on the beers that, Dave brews well, which are European styles, and then we kind of, put our New World spin on them and have a lot of fun with them.
So Farm2Chefs, it's all about people getting together at a venue, as we see here on the screen, trying out all things local. Bravado, there we go. Just so many different things to choose from that people might not even be aware of just how much is available locally that we put out here.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, like, we hooked up with Brody this past weekend. We did a hamburger barbecue, so we had his meat in there.
Same beef, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. It was outstanding. Every day that we brew, Ed Basil is a farmer out in Rivershore. He comes and gets our spent grain. He uses that on his farm. So, I mean, it's just, yeah, I mean, local is, I think, the way of the future. And
it's what people want. So as that demand grows, there's going to be more of it. And that's what we're seeing right now. Where are we at? We can pull out this video. Thank you very much to Downstairs for airing that for us. Do you want to try a beer, or do you want to talk? Where do you guys want to go here?
Oh, let's try some beer.
Sure.
Let's try some beer.
Absolutely.
I think you should try some beer with us.
I mean, you need to take the edge off of Monday. I brought three. I'll start with Meritzen. Meritzen is a very traditional Austrian lager, first brewed in the 16th century, but something not uncommon today in Munich and other parts of Germany. So basically, that's a straight up lager. There's no bells or whistles, just nicely balanced. Some malt sweetness in there, medium bitterness.
Beautiful. I'm going to give it a
Good
go.
summertime beer.
Cheers, guys.
Delicious. The last time I was at Red Collar, I had the last beer on the list. What's it called again? Izaka?
The Izaka IPL. Yes.
Love it.
We're out of that one, but we have another variation coming out soon. One of our seasonals that we have right now, it's a white IPA. So only available in draft in our tasting room at the moment. A white beer refers to the usage of unmalted wheat, as well as a Belgian strain of yeast that gives some fruity esters during fermentation. And then the IPA component, we added hops that give it a very pronounced citrus, kind of grapefruit and berry flavor.
Cheers. Let's give it a go. So good.
I like that.
You can really taste the fruit in that a little bit.
Absolutely.
Very, very nice. Which of these do you think would go better with what we're cooking over here?
I got my eye on this guy here, the
Double?
Yeah.
So again, the Double, it's another Belgian style on the darker side of things. So pairs very well with red meat, and even if wanted to use it as an ingredient.
Yeah, we're gonna use it as a bit of a sauce here.
Oh, are we really?
Perfect. Good. So basically the Belgian equivalent of a stout, medium mouthfeel and body, and you're gonna get some sweet kind of chocolate and coffee flavors in there as well.
Okay, we'll give this a taste, and we'll maybe throw to a break. How do you pronounce that? Double?
Double.
Double. That would go very well with steak. But I'm going to tell you that right now, all of these 3 beers are absolutely delicious. They all have distinct flavor. I think they're all going to be great with beef, but we're going to try pairing them together when we come back from a quick break. So stay with us, please.
Watch her fly like a sail. Let her fly, bye, 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 bye.
Welcome back. Farm2Chefs taking place July 26th out at Bravado Winery. We're doing a little cooking with 2 of the companies that are involved in this. Chop and Block up in Aberdeen is one of them, and we're cooking up some beautiful beef today. Let's talk a little bit about how you do this.
Yeah, so the beef is something that we do very differently. We dry age it, and that's why it's got that little bit of a dark kind of bark to it. Once you trim that away, that's when you get your prime rib steak. Perfect red color, but you have to understand that dry aging is exactly that. So it lets go of some of the moisture inside of it. So there's a little less water there, so you can't overcook it. It's not really forgiving that way.
Okay.
But you get way better beef flavor.
Right.
Right.
Does it change the texture at all?
It does. It's a heartier texture.
Yeah.
It's less grainy as other meat.
Yeah.
And the farther you go, the more kind of butter it turns
Sure.
into. Yeah.
Chop and Block up in the Aberdeen strip mall near Canadian Tire. You guys have been there for a while?
The store's been there 15 years. This is my first year. So,
Okay.
Yeah, well, just finished our first year.
Right, and you guys offer all kinds of stuff. It's not just
Yeah.
about steak.
No, steak, chicken, pork, lots of local fare from farms around the community. Some of our customers have farms and they sell us beef. And
That's pretty cool.
yeah, it's kind of fun.
And as you mentioned, this is from Heffley Creek.
It is, Knuff Lake.
Knuff Lake.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Devon
I got that
Correction.
wrong.
So I'm just going to finish up a
Different
little bit of a sauce here. I took the double from JP there.
If you can't drink beer, you might as well cook with it. That's what I'm thinking.
It's good because it's usually always on hand when you're at the barbecue. And here I've just got a little bit of a beef glaze. I'll just start reducing that down a bit. And then I'll slice you guys up some beef.
So are you going to put that in here, or how does that work? You just let this reduce?
I would let that reduce, and then I'll pour it over top.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
I always marvel at some of the best sauces are the ones that are only made with 2 or 3 ingredients.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You keep it simple and
Keep it
easy.
simple, yeah. Especially with good products, you don't need to
Right.
do much to them.
I don't know about anybody else, but that looks pretty good and it's making me pretty hungry. We still have a full 4 minutes, so please do feel free to talk about Farm2Chefs. You guys taken part before?
Last year we did it. Yeah, it's a blast. It's really fun. Lots of good food.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah. So what is the idea behind it? You're walking around and there's samples being given out and you just sort of go around and try different things?
Yeah, it's grazing.
Yeah, it's a grazing event.
It's all kind of finger food, and you just go around.
Yeah.
The chefs are there talking to you about what they're cooking and what else they cook. And,
Right.
Yeah, and so communicate with us, chat with us, have fun with us.
Yeah, for sure. And for you guys, you'll be offering up different types of craft beer that you have. Are you guys making up anything sort of special for the event, or is it just what's going on at the time for you?
We've got a few irons in the fire right now in terms of seasonal beers. We do have a Belgian wit coming down. So it's similar to the white IPA that you had, less of a hop presence, but you get some coriander and oranges in there. So, it's like a really nice summer beer, especially for an event like that. But I think, what we're excited about, and I'm sure Brody feels the same way, is, it's a chance to interact with people and talk about what you're doing. And that's getting back to kind of the local and community. It's, when you know the guy, it's that old world model, you know your baker, your butcher, and your brewer. And, when you know where it's coming from and you know the person you're supporting, I think there's a lot more being said, or to be said about that than, when you're supporting a faceless company that's profit driven and who don't necessarily believe strongly in their product.
Absolutely. And when you think about sort of the organic nature of what you're getting with local, right? Like that's a huge component. So many people want organic now.
Absolutely.
And that's a big part of it as well. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Quite a presentation. I also love the, what we call this, it's like a serving tray, but it's made out of
a platter, yeah.
It's a platter that is actually a cord of wood that's been stained. It's pretty cool. I like that. Very rustic.
I've got fortunate friends that live in the woods and like to use their chainsaws. So
Is that right?
Yeah.
So you call them up and say,
Yeah.
hey. So this is reduced almost now?
Yeah, that's just getting where we want it. So what I did carve up a nice
Holy
big
moly.
porterhouse steak as well because I'm hungry.
Yeah,
Are you?
lunchtime.
Check out the close-up here. Marcel's going to go to this next close-up. Wow.
So now I've got the beer, the beef glaze reduced a little bit. I'm just gonna pour over top.
I have to say that a lot of people from the station have been poking their head in the door up here because they can smell how good it is. Everybody wants to have a little try. We've got about 30 seconds before I have to do the one-day weather. Is there anything else that either of you would like to talk about before we have a little sample?
I think we covered it. Just Farm2Chefs, get out there, meet us, experience the event, and
Yeah. Feel free to chop that up
See
into a
what
little
Kamloops has
piece.
to offer.
I think we should both have a little sample
I
before we
think
go.
you're
How
right.
about that? There we go. Delicious, medium rare.
Thank you so much.
Wow, is that ever tender?
There's a party in my mouth, and everyone's invited.
So good. Farm to Chefs, again, July 26th. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Bye for now.